So let me get this straight. Tiger Woods was a black player in a predominantly white sport, and he was never forced, coerced, or shamed into crediting his success and stardom on his blackness. Venus and Serena Williams were black athletes in a very prominent white sport. They were never forced or shamed into crediting their success and their stardom on their blackness. But Caitlyn Clark needs to credit her whiteness on her success and her stardom? Make it make sense. This is why Caitlyn Clark's white privilege comment in the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year article is just so ridiculous. Her whiteness, an immutable characteristic, did not allow her to hit logo threes, break records in the NCAA, break records in the WNBA, become a WNBA first team member as a rookie. And people don't like her because she's white. They like her because her style of play and her record-breaking performances. And it's exactly why we liked Venus Williams and Serena Williams and Tiger Woods. Their play and their personalities transcended races, ages, and sexes. This whole white privilege talk is such nonsense. And the fact that Caitlyn Clark bought into it, or at least cowered to it, really sucks.
Caitlyn Clark. Is she becoming a tool for the far left? That's what's been the uproar for the last few days in my timeline. I'm still learning about the story and why everybody's in an uproar at this very moment about Caitlyn Clark. But what it's boiling down to is her caving into the whole woke mob. Yep, she's going to wokey woke. You know what I mean? She ain't getting no sleep apparently. Now Caitlyn Clark, who's extremely talented, she's been criticized greatly. I'm gonna just call it like I see it by a lot of the players in the WNBA, just because she gained the status that they worked so hard to, get, and unfortunately did not achieve in terms of marketability. And because she was the one who came and did it, that ain't the problem. The problem is that she's white, right? That's pretty much been the sentiment. But Caitlyn Clark is going woke, and she's now defending her bowel comment where she said white people have privilege. The WNBA, what about me? I ain't got no privilege up in this thing, you know what I'm saying? Anyhow, the WNBA was already a failure, but at least there was Caitlyn Clark to give them a glimmer of hope. Now it's clear that Clark is just another tool for the far left. Go ahead and check this clip out.
Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift Black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
Now, if you're disappointed in her statement, I get it. You're entitled to your own disappointment. But I would like everybody to remember she's still a young woman, who's she's been taking some crazy, how do I say this? She's been getting some crazy negative press and taking some, cheap shots and getting butchered all on their court and stuff like that aggressively, pushed by these Black athletes and things like that. I think she's hoping this will diminish the fouls and the hatred directed towards her, possibly. I don't know. Could be. Let's read a few comments. Caitlyn Clark's fall from grace is the perfect cautionary tale. Talent wasted on the altar of woke conformity. She had the chance to rise above the noise, to be a unifying figure, but instead she chose the easy road. Regurgitating tired talking points that do nothing but divide. I mean, I'll just say, like, I'm on the phone with my brother and I told him, I was like, look, I'm just gonna have to say it. Look, I know that you sitting there and you doing the whole, now, if you're talking about historical context, I totally get it. You're sitting there just saying, hey, I want to acknowledge the women that came before me, But I guarantee you, man, if you know, she trying to be a voice for the black athletes, I bet you ain't no voice from the black side gonna be a voice for you, Caitlyn. I'm just keeping it real, man. I said what I said. All right, it is what it is. So Caitlyn Clark obviously was criticized by many people, and Megyn Kelly is one. So it says, you know, just the Gay Republican posted, I'm sorry, but Caitlyn Clark is such a loser. The left brutally attacks her for months, and she has nothing to say. She bows to them and kisses the ring. It says Megyn Kelly criticized her one time, and Caitlyn Clark is back on Megyn Kelly's white privilege claim. Oh man, what exactly did she say? Now I know I got a clip up here of Megyn Kelly somewhere. Where's she at? But she had praised Caitlyn Clark a while ago. Check this out. Hold on.
What a bunch of spoiled, jealous brats. All I want to hear from them is thank you. That's it. That's all they should be saying to Caitlyn Clark. Thank you so much for calling attention to our sport that literally no one cares about. Nobody. No one cares about women's basketball. They don't care about it at the college level. They don't care about the WNBA. The only reason they're watching it now is because of that one woman who apparently, I'm not a sports person, but I'm told is the Michael Jordan of women's basketball.
Now, I didn't have the clips of Megyn Kelly initially criticizing her. I do have her, Megyn Kelly, that it is, in response to Caitlyn Clark's response, though. But before we get into all that, former ESPN Carrie Champion argues that the WNBA hasn't been successful because it's been prevented from doing so thanks to racism. Thus, why Caitlyn Clark needs to hold up black women. Oh my gosh, bro! Y'all hear these people? Come for the racism, stay for the attempt to make Scott Jennings an angry white man. Huh? Yeah, they always gonna try to make him seem like he's the one that's irrational. But look at this exchange, and you come to your own conclusion.
But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Dawn Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all, who really built this league. And they weren't getting the attention because, let's face it, the league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post about Taylor Swift post about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They
endorsing
unfollow her.
Voting,
like saying go vote,
yeah.
And then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, you know what? I am so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person, that they are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly, saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white, she's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about. She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year? And she makes more money than the people who built this league. And she understands there's a reason, not because she shoots the ball.
Man, why people can't understand? Some people are just the one. It's just what it is. I can argue right now that there are people in the league that are better statistically, at least just in the current season, the last couple of seasons, than that of LeBron James. But LeBron James is LeBron James. I'm sorry. It's just the way that life works. Either you're marketable and talented, or you're extremely talented, not marketable, and you get some recognition there, but you have to be somebody who's marketable in order to achieve certain heights, man. Like talent ain't just gonna get you through the door. And I'm sorry for everybody who feels like it, it should. I mean, I feel like it should too, but at the end of the day, bro, it's just how life works. We're part of it.
Because she shoots the ball well. Yes, that also helps. But there's another reason, Scott. There's a reason that says I'm white and it's a privilege and people love me. And I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say.
Now, I have to totally agree with that because I've always been somebody who don't like the whole "your truth, my truth" BS. That's for the people that's sensitive and can't come to objective conclusions. Okay, it's either a lie or the truth, nothing else.
Because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something. What did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean? What did they build? What do you mean? What did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've had a business model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas. That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
I don't get it, man. I don't understand her logic. So she's saying that the WNBA is mostly black women and they built it up and, all this. I'll put it like this. The NBA is mostly black men and people love that product. Yet the WNBA isn't as successful because of racism. It don't make sense to me. There's a whole lot of mind reading going on in that segment right there, man. That's all I'm saying. But nobody's buying it. Somebody said Scott Jennings' facial expressions are the best. He will be a meme face for years to come, for sure, man. Maybe CNN should check their rates before spewing stupid like that. I'm telling y'all, you can't fix cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I wish Scott Jennings had asked them, why is it so bad to be white? Seriously, they need to ask everybody on CNN that question right there. Now, Caitlyn Clark doubled down on the woke narrative. She's undermined the passion. People like Jason Whitlock, who are upset and no longer going to watch as a result of this. Let's go ahead and hear him out.
Christine Brennan, the USA Today reporter, Hall of Fame sports writer, been fighting for women's sports for 50 years, is huge Caitlyn Clark supporter. In that story, Caitlyn Clark takes a dump on Christine Brennan and said, I can't believe someone would ask that question. I thought it was so inappropriate. When Christine Brennan asked Dejanay Carrington, did you stab her in the eye intentionally? There are people that think that. It's a perfectly legitimate journalistic question that has to. Caitlyn Clark's talking about, I thought that was inappropriate, and she supported the union that wanted to reprimand Christine Brennan, one of the greatest allies that women's sports have had over the course of 4 or 5 decades. You want her reprimanded and punished by the WNBA, all because you want to make peace with the women that have taken you hostage. You can give a damn less about Christine Brennan. It will be easy for me not to watch. Will I continue to talk about Caitlyn Clark from time to time? Probably, because I'm going to be interested in what the ratings are like next year, or in this upcoming season. I want to see how many of us because I think she's undermined the passion. The people like myself and these other people that are upset, these were her most passionate fans. I watched every game. I bought the WNBA package because of Caitlyn Clark. She sold out here. I feel bad. There's some sympathy I have for her. But at the end of the day, it would have been very easy for her. And I think she should have done it. I'm good, Tom. I don't need your Athlete of the Year award.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and just set the tone and say that I'm not going to be one of those conservatives who's just like, oh, I'm going to completely cut her off because she said something I don't like. I understand that we live in a world and we exist in a world where people will not share the same exact beliefs. And that's understandable. You know what I mean? people do heinous, create, make do something heinous and commit a crime that's just nothing you can come back from. Obviously, I'm not gonna sit there and back you or nothing like that, but come on, dog. I'm not gonna sit here and just cut off everybody who don't agree with, my belief system. It's just what it is. I mean, who don't even agree with facts sometimes, it's just, we live in a world like that, you feel me? And you can't expect to create, I don't wanna do what the left is doing. I don't wanna, okay, I disagree with what this person is saying, so I've got to completely cut them off completely and everything about them. I don't want to support them in any kind of way. I don't think she said anything that was detrimental to my livelihood in any kind of way. She said something that I don't agree with, that I don't vibe with, but I see her shoot the basketball a couple times.